we can wrap up and talk about Crystal Palace, Pete. Now, of course, Michael Olise, Eberchi as two standouts this season, been absolutely fantastic. Is there any summer interest? Do we see either of them do either of them have release clauses? Do we see either of them moving on from Selhurst Park this summer?
Two outstanding players for Crystal Palace. And I'm sure there will be offers and interest in both of those players this summer as well. I think that's pretty inevitable. Crystal Palace are going to have to fight off the vultures from taking their best players away from them this summer as well. Eze, obviously, I think he's been a top player for Palace now for a number of seasons as well. There's been previous interest from Manchester City. Also Spurs are interested in him as well. There's confusion reports whether he's got a release clause or not. Obviously, he signed a new deal, I think, last November to keep him at the club until 2027. So he's not long ago signed a new contract. And I'm sure Palace would love to keep hold of him as well. Michael Olise came very close to leaving last year. Last summer, Chelsea thought they had activated the release clause in his contract, but he then ended up signing a new deal at Palace until 2027. He's had a few injury problems this season, which have sort of hurt his progress, but he's now back to his best. We saw that on the Monday night with those 2 goals against Manchester United as well. And there will be a lot of interest in Olise as well. I think the summer United being one of the suitors for him. Chelsea, I'm sure, would still be interested in him. There's been talk of Aston Villa, Arsenal, and even Juventus in Italy being interested in him. So I think in his new contract, there was a release clause inserted into it. So if that is met this time, it'll be a lot more than the 35 million release clause, which was in his previous contract. You're probably looking at close to double that, I would imagine, this time around. So, yeah, I think Palace are in a strong position. They're both under long-term contracts, but there'd be no doubts that there will be interest and offers for both of those players this summer, and it's just whether Crystal Palace can keep hold of them.
And in terms of Eze, Pete, we didn't really talk about that. What would his valuation, do you think, be in the market currently as it stands?
Yeah, current market, probably looking £70 million plus, I think. Very talented players on the fringes of the England squad as well. So it'll be interesting to see if he does get called up to Gareth Southgate's squad for the Euros. But yeah, top player on his day. He's a match winner. There's no doubts about that. And I think if he went into any of the top 6 clubs in the Premier League, he would definitely improve them. And I think that could be the next landing spot for Eze now if he wants to take that next step in his career, is to go and play European football and play on a higher level, competing for trophies as well. So yeah, I think a decent £70 million offer is something that Palace would definitely find hard to turn down.
Lewis, the one for me is Marc Guehi. I mean, we talk about Olise and Eze. The one for me is Marc Guehi at the back. I mean, you look at the figures that are touted around for Jared Branthwaite. Guehi is a lot more experienced, been in the England setup, played for England. And for me at the moment, he's a better player. Jared Branthwaite, yeah, you're paying for the potential and the development of a younger player. But I think if you're looking at the figures that has been touted around for him, Guehi's got to be up there in a similar kind of category for me.
Where do you think he would suit, or would he walk into most, say, top 6 sides, do you think, in the Premier League?
Not Arsenal, not the way that those two are playing. You look at Saliba and Gabriel, the way that they've performed this season. Liverpool, yeah, you look at Van Dijk plus another, and how long is Van Dijk going to be there for? Tottenham, Romero, Van der Ven, yeah, opportunities, to break into that. And I think Guehi is that good. I think he would break into eventually a lot of the sides. Arsenal for me is the one standout where he wouldn't. Manchester City, you look at the options that they've got. He's an out-and-out centre-half though, isn't he?
He'd walk into the Man United team right now.
Oh, absolutely.
First name on the team sheet. So, or one of the first names, especially at the back. And Newcastle also being admires him as well, but again, might be a bit too expensive for them come this summer due to their sort of restrictions due to FFP as well. But yeah, he's another player that I'm sure Palace will be trying to bat off offers for this summer transfer window.
Yeah, we're not trying to sell Palace players here, by the way. We're trying to Oliver Glasner doing an incredible job.
Steve Parish on.
Yeah. Since he's come in, what Oliver Glasner's done, like I say, managers don't get a job when a club's in a good state. I mean, Roy Hodgson will argue that he didn't have Eze and Olise fit for most of the season. But actually what Glasner's done is he's steadied the ship, he's got results, and you can see a real identity, a style of play. The way that they played up at Anfield, the results that they got. I mean, the performance against Manchester United, he will be going to his board, to his owners, saying, I want these players, I want to keep these players. And by the way, there's a little bit of optimism for Palace fans. They could probably finish higher than 12th next season.
Look what he's done with Mateta.
Exactly.
Yeah. For fun.
And Paul, what about from a manager's point of view? Is there any way, do you think, the likes of Guehi, Olise, Eze could actually stay due to Glasner's transformation? Could we actually see them stay together as a cohort and go into next season and push for, say, a top 10, top 12 finish?
Unlikely, in all honesty. With the offer of potentially Champions League, playing at a top 6 club, Champions League football, their international hopes. It may have been, if Oliver Glasner came in at the start of this season and they'd have had a full season and Palace were up there and challenging, as they potentially could be with these players, then I just think it might have just come in a little bit too late to definitely keep all 3 of them at the club anyway.
You've just watched a segment from Football Insider's brand new podcast, The Inside Track, with me, Lewis Pearce, alongside the guests on the show. Thanks very much for tuning in. Please do give the video a like, comment your thoughts on the topic, and feel free to share on your social media pages. If you want to listen to the full podcast episode, click the link in the description below. Keep your eyes peeled for plenty more content and exclusives here on The Inside Track.